What's up, guys? It's Dr. Murphy Medical Associates, and our team at coronatestct.com, live streaming today, April 29th, 2021. That's right, it's April 29th. Weather's warming up. It's time for some baseball. Shh. We're finally hitting.
Progress we've made in fighting this virus, and the progress our scientists have made in learning about how it gets transmitted. Earlier today, the CDC made an important announcement. Starting today, if you're fully vaccinated and you're outdoors, you need, and not in a big crowd,
Not a big
no
crowd.
longer need to wear a mask.
You no longer need to
Want
wear
that
this little
to be
dangly
clear.
thing you got on.
If you're in a crowd, like a stadium or at a conference, or a
Still need a mask
concert,
in Yankee Stadium.
you still need to wear a mask, even if you're outside. But beginning today, gathering with a group of friends in a park, going
What's a
for
group?
picnic, as long as you are vaccinated and outdoors, you can do it without a mask.
Do it without a mask.
CDC is able to make this announcement.
CDC's made a
because
lot
our
of announcements.
Scientists are convinced by the data that the odds of getting or giving the virus to others is very, very low if you're both been fully vaccinated and out in the open air.
That's right. Today on Murphy's Medical Minute, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it without a mask. That's right. Let's get the party started. We are here today. We can get this started, right? First, a lovely message for all of you. Stay tuned at the end of this broadcast. We are going to draw again. That's right. Legends Suite tickets. 2 tickets to the Yankee game on Friday. That's right. 2 tickets against the Tigers. Friday night, Yankee Stadium. But you got to keep your mask on. But first, Murphy Medical Associates and our team at coronatestct.com, thank you for watching Murphy's Medical Minute. Thank you very much for watching. Today's Medical Minute, COVID-19 is airborne. It's time to clear the air. The sans mask. So before we get into this, I really want to talk briefly about governmental confidence. And in this case, the Russians don't have quite a bit of confidence with their government. 70% of them don't want the Sputnik 5 vaccine. Well, I'm here to tell you that they were right. And it's really amazing. The wisdom of crowds, so to speak, can be very, very, very wise and observant over time. Now, what I find really interesting here is that not only does Sputnik 5 fail to neutralize B1351, but it also fails to effectively neutralize just the E484K variant. And so when you look at that data, you're like, wow. So there's something more about the variant isolated in South Africa, B1351. And I think we're going to see a lot of that, including the B1617 that was isolated in India. There's going to be a lot of escape. Okay. So we'll need to make more vaccines. But in our rush to make vaccines, one of the things that we need to make sure we do is if we're going to use an adenoviral vector vaccine, we better inactivate that damn adenoviral vector. Well, guess what? Sputnik 5 is replication competent. That means it's infection competent. That means you get this vaccine, you get the infection. Not just once to get the DNA in the cells, the RNA in the cells, and to get the spike protein, but you get infected with adenovirus. Enjoy. That's why Brazil said no thanks, even in the midst of their horrible pandemic. Perhaps that's because they know that P1 is far less likely to be effective with the Sputnik 5. So it makes no sense running around vaccinating your citizens and giving them an adenoviral vector infection, which is apparently what Russia wanted to do, and why 70% of the Russians were vaccine hesitant. So, President Joe says we can do it without a mask. What can we do without a mask? We can walk, run, or bike with members of our household without a mask. We can attend small outdoor gatherings with fully vaccinated family and friends without a mask. We can attend small outdoor gatherings with fully vaccinated and unvaccinated people. The problem here is that COVID is airborne. So we really need to define what's a small crowd, what's a big crowd, and how do we govern ourselves accordingly for those that have been vaccinated. In the United States, single dose vaccination, 40+% of Americans have received single dose so far of the vaccine. Now, don't get me started here. There's a lot of research that's still going on. These vaccines are still emergency use authorized only, not fully authorized by the FDA. So I understand there's some hesitancy here, especially with a lot of the other side effects that we've seen so far. But if I want to dine at an outdoor restaurant with my friends, I'm going to need to get vaccinated if I don't want to wear a mask. That's outdoors. What are we going to do indoors? Well, let me tell you, the biggest problem here is indoor air quality, and we need to monitor it. And so how are we going to monitor it? Well, there's a lot of different ways, but when we monitor it, we better have a solution. That solution today on Murphy's Medical Minute, the best air filtration systems for you. There's been a lot of stuff with the CDC here, and not everyone's paying attention to them. And one of the big people that are trashing the CDC are the airlines. The airlines. You know, there's much made about vaccine deniers or COVID deniers. But in this case, we have to look at the COVID is airborne deniers. And when someone is going to deny what appears to be consistent facts, you have to say why. Cui bono? Cui bono? And in this case, it appears that the indoor industries, indoor travel industries, cruise industries, airlines, even businesses that bring their employees back into the business, and restaurateurs. Although I'll tell you, restaurateurs are recognizing, they're reading the tea leaves, and they're going to do a lot to improve air quality in restaurants. And we have to figure out a way to improve air quality in airports. We have to figure out a way to improve air quality in taxis and on cruise ships without making it too restrictive, and recognizing that there's always going to be a decision of wealth versus health. So now we need to figure out a way to make wealth related to health. If you take care of your health, you will then get the wealth. Maybe that is the best way to do this. Setting up air monitoring stations requires you to do the work to clear the air. So when we look at this algorithm from the new guidelines that were issued on April 27, 2021, it's either get vaccinated and, hey, everyone heard no masks required. Well, that's not really true, right? I mean, if you go back through it here, I show you. There's a lot of cases with the vaccine that you still need masks. But that's not what everyone heard. Everyone heard, hooray, no mask. People that do not want the vaccine, refuse the vaccine, are either going to wear masks, just like everyone who's vaccinated should indoors, or they're not. And remember here, look, if you're vaccinated and you're outdoors, you get no masks. If you're unvaccinated and you're outdoors exercising, no mask. Well, no crap, because the air outside is so much better for you. It's the indoor air that's the issue. It's the indoor air that is dangerous. So this little algorithm here, I took it out because I think it just shows all the frustration that people that were vaccinated have against people who are not vaccinated. And you can look at it here, and there's really there's a really anger component to it. Anger component. Why? Because everyone wants mask freedom. But we're really going to recognize that politicians are going to define what a big crowd is. Politicians are going to define that. What outdoor activities? You can't do concerts or conferences outdoors without a mask on. I think one of the solutions here is active testing on site. Active testing on site. So I thought you might enjoy the fact that people who don't want vaccines are now labeled members of political parties, organized groups, mask haters, narcissists, kooks, nuts, and outcasts, and virus deniers. Well, I got to tell you right now, the vaccines are fairly safe in the short term of the data that we have. We still don't have a year's worth of data of outcomes with these vaccines. We don't have it. And so there are a lot of people who are waiting for full FDA approval. Why? Because they believe the same that many others do. Life, then liberty, then the pursuit of happiness. Life comes first. But a lot of these people refusing vaccines believe that the vaccine could actually hurt them. And we don't have any data to show them the 5-year result post-vaccine, and we don't have 5 years worth of development data to show these people. Unfortunately, there are going to be people that are going to deny vaccination. It's just the way that it is. So it's up to us to monitor the air quality, and I think that's very important. We can't control fully who gets vaccinated or not, but what we can control is the air quality. And that's very easy to do. You can see that monitor that I have set up right over there. Very simple, or right up there. You take a look at it. It cost me 20 bucks. And you can see the parts per million of carbon dioxide is too high. So what do you need to do? You need to open the doors. Ideal ppms of CO2 are 700. And I think the building and zoning committees and the building safety committees need to really watch what ASHRAE is doing, right? The American Society of Heating and Refrigeration Engineers. Take a look at what they're doing. They are going to adjust their recommendations, and hopefully towns adjust building codes. They have to be flexible here. They have to allow outdoor permitting for things just like they did last year. They have to open the windows. They have to allow buildings to have their windows opened, because the devastation for this pandemic is really only going to be known in 4 to 5 years. And the businesses that are refusing to monitor air and be part of the solutions, there's a lot of reasons for this. And one of those could be costs, or even further governmental issues or liability issues that they're worried about. So how do we clean the air? We should clean the air like we clean the water. Well, how do we clean the air? We filter it. We can apply UV light. We can ionize it, which I don't recommend because it creates ozone and that can be toxic in the lungs. Or we can disinfect the air, right? All of that spraying and that fogging and the other videos that I showed you guys from before, that sort of stuff, that's a way to clean it. But right now today, I think everyone really wants to know how to filter the air. And so we filter the air with several different mechanisms. And those mechanisms include diffusion, interception, inertial impaction, and electrostatic attraction. All of these mechanisms are really determined by fiber thickness, fiber diameter and filter thickness, and face velocity, how fast, boom, that air's coming in or going out. And we can see here that the fiber is, I don't know if you see that, boom, it's like a pipe. And so the density of those fibers together really determines how these particles and the particle sizes either get stuck to the fiber. And the goal is to get them charged and stick to the fiber, right? A positively charged fiber with a negatively charged particle. They stick together. It's magnetism. And so physics and Brownian motion are going to be essential for proper filtration, which is why engineers design filtration. That's why engineers design filtration. There's no other way around it. Yet CDC doesn't design filtration. Engineers should be designing filtration. Not your doctor, not your healthcare representative, not your insurance company, and definitely not politicians. The physicists, the engineers should be designing filtration systems, and that's what they've done. ASHRAE has reviewed these things, and on ASHRAE's website you can see here something called MERV ratings. So what you need to understand is that MERV and HEPA are two filtration rating systems. MERV is less efficient than HEPA. HEPA is under 3 microns and under. MERV is above 3 microns. MERV is above 3 microns. And what does MERV stand for? It stands for the minimum efficiency reporting value. Predominantly, these are used in commercial buildings. You can see MERV filters in residential buildings as well. But when you look at the MERV rating, you want to, at minimum, shoot for MERV 13 to 16. 17 to 20 is all particles. 17 to 20 is really where HEPA is at, right? It's even stronger than HEPA. The problem is you're going to need frequent changes of these filters. It can get very expensive. MERV 13 through 16 filter bacteria and smoke. And these are used in operating rooms and they're used in hospitals. 9 to 12 is really where you traditionally see your residential apartment complex air conditioning systems at. And 9 to 12 is purely unacceptable. As we've found, COVID is airborne and is spread through residential buildings or quarantine facilities using 9 to 12, which is why we should be shooting for at least MERV 13 to 16. Great, but what if you want better than that? I want better than that, and in fact, in our offices, we really wanted better than that. And so we chose HEPA filtration systems. HEPA stands for high efficiency particulate air filters. High efficiency particulate air filters. And these filters filter 99.97% of all particles that are 3 microns or less. And these also require replacement and regular cleaning too. But one thing I want to tell you right now is that marketing people, I'm sorry, right? I've got a sister who's got her MBA in marketing. And I tell her that she's got an MBA in deception and lying. And that's because marketers lie more than statistics do. And that's saying something. And that's a fact. And we can see that here at the Federal Trade Commission cracking down on unsubstantiated HEPA filtration claiming systems. Now, what's interesting about this is that they admit no HEPA filter can capture all COVID virus with 100% certainty. But the Pure Breeze system and our smaller Vanguard Gold model can greatly help to reduce the spread and capture the COVID virus in your home or workplace. Frankly, I don't see anything wrong with that, as long as they truly do have HEPA filtration systems and they truly do recognize that COVID's airborne. Unfortunately, the federal government did not think that. And they said, you said you can reduce spread by filtering air. And this is one of the examples of governmental overreach here, in my humble opinion. Granted, marketers do lie. But if we would have recognized that COVID was airborne a long time ago and put HEPA filtration systems in everyone's home and put them in schools and put them in restaurants and buildings, we would have done a fantastic job at preventing the spikes of this virus. Unfortunately, we've got governmental overreach here, and they say cease and desist, stop selling HEPA filters. What are you doing, Charlie Harwood? What are you doing? You're not doing any good for the public, even though you think you are. And that's the problem with governmental overreach. That's the problem with governmental overreach. So, who is this broadcast for today? This live stream is for everyone. Everyone, including people who want to get an air filter themselves, right? And the problem here is the business of the home air is dirty. The business of the air, businesses have dirty air. So how do we fix it? How do we go through it? How do we evaluate it? And I just showed you a little bit about HEPA filters and MERV filters. That's great, but how do I decide? How do I know? And I think one of the most important things you need to do is you need to take a look and be able to assess filters. And in this case, I'm going to assess HEPA filters today. We're going to talk about the best filters for local filtering. Now, the way that we judge a filter, especially a HEPA filter, is its ability to clear a room of particulate matter in time. How quick do you get to that 99.97% clearing? And in how many square feet can you be judged? That's operational efficiency. The next thing you evaluate is the noise. How loud are the filters? And lastly, how much am I going to have to spend for this? How much am I going to have to spend? And what you'll find is that marketing manipulators are allowed to say a lot of what they want. Unfortunately, at times they get regulated for saying truth. So I think they just must say to themselves, we're going to get shot either way, so let it fly. And that very well could be the case here. So we have to be careful of what we read. When you really review these things, there's a couple of buzzwords that are red flags for you to avoid a HEPA filter that's not a HEPA filter. And these are things like the words HEPA type, HEPA like, HEPA style, or it's like Gangnam style, HEPA style, right? So in addition to that, something say it's 99% HEPA means it's not 100% HEPA, therefore it's not a HEPA filter, and they don't satisfy the HEPA standard. So if you see these buzzword phrases, it's like looking at food that's organic, that is, tell me about 100% organic sugar. Hooray! Yeah, it'll still kill you. So we need to stay away from those things. We do see smaller filtration systems that are called air clearers or air purifiers. I've yet to see really effective HEPA filters that you can wear around your neck. So the all-around best, as judged by, like I said, Square footage, effectiveness, noise, and cost is the COWAY AP1512HH Mighty. That's right. The 30-minute success test in 135 square foot space was 99.67% filtration at 30 minutes. That means in 30 minutes, it gets right up to the HEPA standard. Unfortunately, that's only in 135 square feet. It's an exam room in a medical office. And so each one of these needs to be in each of those rooms. That's a bedroom. So if you're in a bedroom, you get a HEPA filter for your bedroom. There are obviously going to be other filters that we're going to need to look at for bigger spaces, but in a small space, this guy tops the charts. Why? It's quiet. 24 decibels. 24 decibels. Its max space is 361 square feet. That's a couple of exam rooms. It's a couple of rooms, a smaller part of a restaurant. And on top of it, its energy efficiency is useful at 77 watts on quiet mode. And so we rate these based on time to clean, power consumption, and noise. Next, that's your all-around best. You can put that in a single room, put it in a bedroom. Put it in a bedroom. If you want a little bit bigger space, and you want to filter out smoke. Now, it's very important. I didn't talk about this. Volatile organic compounds, smoke or stenches, COWAY doesn't work on. But the Winnix 552 does. And that's because it's got a cleanable carbon filter, a washable carbon filter. It also is pretty darn quiet at 40 decibels. It's more expensive. And its max space is 360 square feet. It is a bigger filter. It's a bigger filter, but that's because it's got carbon filter in it that's washable. Washable meaning you can use it again and again. And it eliminates smells, volatile organic compounds, including smoke. Next, I think that if you're going to spend money on a HEPA filter, you want a filter that's going to work fast. And we are buying Blue Air Pure 211 Pluses for our offices. Those Blue Air 211 Pluses, guess what? They're over $200 a piece. So you get what you pay for in this. Within 15 minutes, half of the time, they were able to clear out that space 99.9%, which is pretty amazing. Half the time, 15 minutes. And these filters can operate up to 550 square feet. Not quite double, but 1.5 times the space of the other ones. And they are very quiet. They're very quiet at 40 decibels. They also have washable filters very similar to the Winnix. And for the low cost of 30 watts. That's right. These filters use so little energy. They're fantastic. This is a quiet, good, top of the line. If you're going to spend money, Blue Air Blue Pure 211 Plus. That's the way to go. That's if you're going to spend money. If you can't afford those, this right here, the Levoit Core 300 is probably one of the best pound for pound filters that you're going to get. Why? It's under $100. It's under $100. The max space that you can use this in is 200 square feet, but I'm here to tell you right now, these are really good for small spaces. They're really good for small spaces. They do not have a carbon filter except for the toxin absorber filter that does not come with the filter, that comes with the device. You're gonna have to buy it separately. And that's a carbon filter. The other filters, the original filter, is a great multi-purpose filter, and it's a HEPA filter that will work very well to clear out 97% in 30 minutes. This is not a fast actor, but pound for pound, cost-wise, this is the cheapest, safest one that you're going to get. Max space, 219 square feet. But it is quiet and under $100. And costs play a role here. Costs play a huge role here. Huge role. So I'll tell you right now, I'm not sponsored by any of these guys. I'm not part of any crazy Amazon affiliate program where I'm going to get a bunch of kickbacks here. So you're not going to see the links in my description. You're just not. You're going to have to go Google and find these on your own. But overall, the Blue Air Blue Pure is the best, in my humble opinion, because you're paying for what you get. It works very fast. The all-around best is the COWAY Mighty. The COWAY Mighty is all categories best in show, or the all-around for gymnastics. It hits on all cylinders. If you need to eliminate VOCs, I believe the Winnix is a really good way to go because the washable filter is reusable. And if you need to save money but desperately need to protect your space, the Levoit Core 300 is the way to go. Why does this matter? This matters because our air is shared with our children. Our air is shared with our students. Our air is shared with those most vulnerable. We need to protect our air. We need to clear the air. And we need to recognize the big lie that kids can't pass COVID. They can. We need to protect them. As an aside, today I was really happy to be able to identify regular coronavirus in one of my kids and not novel coronavirus. Not everyone can check that right away. And so we have to protect the air to prevent transmission. And one of the best ways to prevent transmission, open the windows. Open the windows. Buy yourself carbon dioxide monitors. They cost like 20 bucks. And pay for HEPA filtration. I just went through the best ones. And they don't have to be expensive. The Levoit is under $100. And in some places it's listed as $84 a piece. We need to encourage people to eat outside, restaurant outside, without a mask. Do it without a mask, says President Joe. That's right. Eat outdoors without a mask on, because it's awfully tough to eat with a mask on. And I think we need to do some really serologic surveys, and we have to recognize that SARS-CoV-2 is an airborne virus. And so we need to treat our air like we treat our water. COVID is airborne. There's no denying it any longer. Publication after publication, journal after journal, everyone finally, after 13 months, is coming on board to the fact that COVID is airborne. I only wish they would have gotten on board with the fact that early treatment is essential here. Unfortunately, there's a lack of emphasis on early treatment, quality early treatment. And there's been a record reduction in testing. People just don't want to know. They go, la, 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 la. That's fine. But now we have to turn our eyes to proper ventilation to prevent infection. Because masks and vaccination will only do so much. Why? There are people who don't want to wear masks. There are states without mask mandates. And there are people who are not going to get vaccinated no matter what. Vaccination is only going to do so much. And because of that, we have to treat our air quality like our water quality. And I'm not talking about Flint, Michigan, although I should be. We will never escape this mess without properly taking care of our air like we take care of our water. That's it. All right, here's the deal. Here's the rules. The giveaway rules. The giveaway rules. Today, April 29, 2021, Dr. Murphy and Murphy's Medical Minute is giving away 2 tickets. That's right, 2 tickets to the ball game. Ball game's outdoors. Legend Suite is indoors. How do you get these tickets? How can you get these tickets? Let me tell you simply how you can get these tickets. Follow Murphy's Medical Minute at Murphy Minute on Twitter. Step 2, subscribe and watch Murphy's Medical Minute on YouTube. And then comment on a video. Bring some quality comments. Make them relevant. And don't be ultra-crepidarian. That's right. Step 4, screenshot that bad boy and then DM me on Twitter. Show me your comments. And then watch the weekly drawing. That's right. Watch the weekly drawing. And then, once you've won, fast before the game. You want to fast before the game. Trust me on this one. The return to normalcy here includes lots and lots of sports, outdoors, and even more seafood. That's right, even more seafood here at Murphy's Medical Minute. So let's get ready. You guys ready? Are you ready? All right, I'm ready. Oh, wait. I have a little coffee first. Okay, we are ready for the giveaway. I do a giveaway. Ready for the giveaway. Are you ready for the giveaway? Ready for the giveaway? I'm ready for the giveaway. All right. So, you guys ready? Really? You ready? I'm ready. I'm kind of actually really excited about it today. All right. So I'm going to look at you. Right? And I'm rummage them around here. Rummage them around. And I'm going to grab. Then I'm going to open. And then I'm going to show. You ready? You ready? Here we go. Second inaugural giveaway. Jeff Klein. Jeff Klein, if you are watching, you have won Murphy's Medical Minute. That's right. Make sure that you follow up with me on Twitter, send me your email address, and we will transfer you tickets for the Yankees versus the Tigers. Speaking about Michigan, who, by the way, is going through a horrible, horrible pandemic right now. Say a little prayer for Detroit. Say a little prayer for the Tigers. Boom! Let's go, Yankees. All right, guys. Hopefully you had a good time today. Hopefully you learned a little bit. As I said, the HEPA filters are out there. You can rewatch the episode over and over again. I won't charge a subscription for it. But if you're looking to save money, the Levoit 300 is the way to go. That's right. And I just recognized I forgot to give you the intro today. So I better not forget to give you the outro. Today's date is April 29, 2021. Jeff Klein, make sure you DM me. You just won Murphy's Medical Minute. With